host MJ, aka MMA Lock of the Night, and your boy on Twitter at MMA LOTN. Just want to let you guys know again, like I said, yes, this is the last episode of the MMA Lockcast. I have created something, if you guys have been following my Twitter, I have created Locks Fight League, which I'll be streaming on Twitch every UFC Fight Week. I don't want to get too far into depth about Lock Fight League, but if you guys are interested in finding out more about it, just follow at Lock Fight League on Twitter, and I'll be posting everything regarding that on Twitter. But don't worry, I will still be breaking down fights, I'll still be breaking down my bets, but I'll be breaking them down live on those broadcasts. I'll be having those, I'm going to figure out a way to download those episodes, and I'll post them on YouTube if possible. Otherwise, they're normally archived for about 14 weeks on Twitch, so if you missed the live broadcast, you'll still be able to catch it before the actual UFC event occurs. So if you're interested in still hearing about my breakdowns and my picks and my views on some of these fights, you'll want to tune into the LFL broadcasts. And then if you guys are interested in as well, you guys can take part in the LFL as well. Again, if you want to find out more information about that, follow at Lock Fight League on Twitter, and you'll find all the information that you require on that. All right. Last week, had a pretty dismal week. There was actually 4 events that I ended up betting on. One of them only had a Dog of the Night play on it, so I'm not putting too much stock into that. Last week we had UFC Idaho, where I had a W with Volkanovski and Zingano. Volkanovski as my Lock of the Night, and Zingano as a dog play. I also had a dog play on Escobar. I knew that fight was going to be super close. I still thought that Escobar was going to be able to squeak it out with the more technical striking. But Aguilar ended up getting the win, so whatever, it was only one unit at that point. For Bellator 202, I had Eduardo Dantas, who got cracked pretty hard by Michael McDonald, but it was eventually the broken fibula, I believe it was, that caused the end of the night for him. He wasn't able to get back up after getting dropped. I heard that he said he didn't get hurt too badly by that punch, but it's eventually, the fact that he was not able to get up and get away from those punches that came after. And so there was -5 units on that. And then Daniel Weichel, I had 0.5 units on him at Bellator 203. I didn't actually get to catch the fight yet. I did see he lost a split decision, so if it was as close as a split decision, I think that 0.5 unit stat was definitely worth the odds that I had got him in at. And then we had ONE FC as well, where I took an L on Aguilantani. Everything pre-tape or pre-fight in terms of tape showed that it was a very winnable fight for him. Kadistam didn't really show the best takedown defense, but it's something that he clearly worked on, endlessly in this fight camp, and it showed in this fight. So he was able to batter Tani, ended up getting the finish. It was kind of hard to watch, but that's just something that I gotta pay attention a little bit more to moving forward with these ONE FC fights. So at the end of that weekend, I was -7.46 units. It fucking hurts to even say that, but for complete transparency and all that stuff, I don't want to lie to you guys. I don't want to put up any smoke and mirrors or anything like that. It was a bad weekend, but we're right back at it this weekend with UFC Hamburg, where I have 3 plays, 1 Lock of the Night, and 2 Dog of the Night plays, and I'm sure that I'll be able to hit on these and make a dent in that loss that was last week. So, without further ado, let's get right into the quick picks, and let's get it fucking going. So, I got Damian Stasiak with a decision over Ping Yuan. I got Jeremy Kimball with a TKO with a second round TKO over Stocic. I got Manny Bermudez with a second round sub over Davy Grant. Alexander Rakic with a round 1 KO over Justin Ledet. Nad Niramani decisioning Taha. Bartosz Fabinski is my first Dog of the Night play. I got him with a decision victory over Meek. I got about 2 units on Fabinski at +172. I still believe he's the dog in this fight. However, if it wasn't for that long-ass layoff, I'm sure he would be the favorite in this fight. If it wasn't for that layoff, I probably wouldn't even, bat an eye at probably going 5 units deep on him and going with him as my Lock of the Night play, as he has shown the exact game plan that beat Meek in his last fight with Kamaru Usman. Kamaru Usman may be a more decorated wrestler over here stateside, but Fabinski has shown that grinding style, that bull rush. Might have to eat a few shots, but he'll close the distance and he'll get your butt to the ground and he'll show dominant position. He has shown a very strong jab in some of his fights, but I think it's mainly just to close the distance, and he's going to get a hold of Meek, put him on his butt, and not allow Meek to get up. The only real shot that I think that Meek has in this fight is, if he pulls off one of those miraculous guillotines or something like that. He didn't seem to have much trouble trying to, going for it when Kamaru was taking him down. He happily, if he thought he had the neck, he would just fucking jump guard, tug on it as hard as he can, and then eventually Kamaru was able to pop his head out. And I think that might happen in this fight too. I think Meek may pull guard, try to lock up a guillotine in the first 2 minutes or so, and if he can't get that, I think it's going to be a short or actually a long night for him. He's going to get laid and preyed on. He's going to get grappled fucked. Fabinski's going to stay active on top. He's going to get the dominant positions when he needs to, but he will stay on top. He will I really don't think with his style that the layoff will affect him as much. This is his second fight at welterweight, and he's a huge welterweight, so he's going to be very physically imposing against a guy with like Emil Meek. And again, at plus 172 dog odds, man, it's tough not to take this fight, especially when I really like this style of fighter. Fabinski is probably one of my favorite fighters in terms of playing it as safe as possible. So again, yep, I got 2 units on Fabinski by decision over Emil Meek in this fight. Moving right on, I got Nick Hein decisioning Damir Hadzovic. I got Mark D. Casey with the first round KO over Nazrat Hakparast. Daddy Roberts first round KO over Zawada. And then my lock of the night play, which is Marcin Tybura decisioning Stefan Struve. I got Marcin Tybura at minus 235. He eventually got to better odds, about minus 215. And when I checked before I started recording this podcast, he's about pretty much back up to where I got him, which was minus 235, minus 240. So I got 5 units on Marcin Tybura. I've been waiting to fade Stefan Struve, Evan, and have been kicking myself that I did not take the dog money on Andrei Arlovski in the last fight. The last fight was a prime example of Stefan Struve's lack of being able to evolve as a fighter. You're talking about a guy who's been in the UFC since like UFC 80 something. This guy's been in the UFC for a long time. I believe he's had over 20 fights at this point, or 15 fights, but he still just hasn't shown much improvement. He has T-Rex syndrome, in my opinion. He doesn't realize he has such immense reach advantage over some of these guys, Marquand, Roy Nelson. Some of these smaller guys, they're just able to hit him at will, and I don't think that Marcin Tybura will have that much of an issue trying to hit Struve either. I think that he'll be able to get in and out as he pleases. He might eat some shots, but I think that Tybura is going to be able to piece Struve up, mix in the wrestling if he needs to, and get out of bad positions if Struve manages to get like some sort of submission attempt up when he's on his back. But I do believe that Marcin Tybura is the more technical striker, the better fighter, and just good enough that Struve won't be able to hang. I really believe that this is Tybura's fight to win. Yeah, man. This fight is more so about Struve being really bad. And again, I'm just very mystified that I passed up the opportunity to fade him in his last fight against Andrei Arlovski. I really believe I didn't have that much confidence back then, especially when I would see dog money beside a guy that I was leaning before the odds actually came out. And prime example. So I'm not passing up another opportunity. I do believe Marcin Tybura is good enough to decision Struve. And for anybody that wants to kind of look further into this fight, I think Tybura by decision, or even poking the over 1.5, which I believe is at minus 170 right now, is definitely worth a look. So take that into consideration. Even the fight going to decision is definitely a good bet on that. So Again, I got 5 units on Marcin Tybura, minus 235 over Stefan Struve, and probably the end of Stefan Struve's UFC career, to say, we could see him in Bellator after this fight. This will be 3 straight losses. And how long can you really hold on to a guy, who's had such an up and down career in the UFC? We know if he can't win this fight that he's not going to have really any title aspirations. So just fucking send him to the Bellator League, All right, so let's move on to the last 3 fights. Quick picks. I got Vitor Miranda with a KO over Abu Azaitar, 3rd round. And then my second dog of the night play, I have 0.5 units on Anderson, Corey Anderson winning a decision over Glover. I got that at plus 365. I thought it was too good of a line to pass up. Obviously, there's that that scare or that fear that Glover is going to be able to KO Anderson. But I think the pace, the movement, the wrestling of Corey Anderson is good enough to beat Glover. Glover was put on his back a couple times by Pat Cummins. Pat Cummins wasn't able to hold him down. I think Anderson's going to be able to hold Glover down. Even if Glover gets back up, I think Anderson has the pace, the cardio, the striking, the in and out ability that Pat Cummins didn't have to expose Glover. Glover's really been only throwing like these 1-2 punches, and he's managed to knock out some of these guys because they don't have the best movement. They don't have the best, striking defense. And yes, Corey Anderson has gotten KO'd in the past, but I think that, being the younger, faster, stronger guy, he should be able to, outpower Glover. He should be able to, keep Glover on his back. And Glover's not the best with his jiu-jitsu off his back either. So if Glover is on top, he may pose some problems to Anderson. But off his back, I don't think that Glover is the best. So I believe that, a 0.5 unit stab at plus 365 on the only way that I really see Anderson winning this fight is worth a shot. I don't see him finishing Glover, but I do definitely see him grinding Glover out. So I had to take that stab. I do think it's it's highly likely going to hit. But again, if Corey is sloppy in there, he will get clipped, and I wouldn't be surprised if Glover put him out. So there's that. Moving right on to the main event, I got Shogun with a 3rd round KO over Smith. That may be more so about a biased pick. Shogun has always been my favorite fighter, probably my first fighter that I was really drawn to when I got into MMA. But that's why I really won't, bet on his fights. So Smith could easily win this fight, but I'm going to go with Shogun with the 3rd round KO over Smith. So my next breakdown is going to be on week 2 of the Lock Fight League preseason. It's going to be going down Wednesday, July 25th at 4:30 p.m. Eastern on Twitch. You guys can either go to at Lock Fight League on Twitter, or even check my own personal at MMA LOTN Twitter account, and I'll be posting the stream on there before I go live. So I'll be breaking down whatever the next UFC card is. I don't know why it's slipping my mind. UFC Calgary, which is the next UFC on Fox card, headlined by Dustin Poirier and Eddie Alvarez, which should be a fucking banger of a fight. But I'll be breaking that down again next week, Wednesday, 4:30 p.m. Eastern. Make sure to check out the stream. Join in on the conversation, leave some comments, drop, and I'll be definitely answering any questions, going on with any comments, anything to make it more interactive and something that you guys can take part in as well. So don't forget, follow at Lock Fight League and join in on the conversation. And I'll be dropping the guide very shortly so that you guys can know exactly what it's all about and how you guys could eventually make some money off of it too if you guys are lucky. So the buy-in deadline for season 1 is going to be September 1st. So do not miss that if you guys are interested. And so good luck with your fight picks. And I'm gone.